the primary objective of many operators nowadays is to have freedom of choice in partners they work with. Being limited in who you can work with and who you cannot work with hinders them in coming up with competitive offerings. The price is dictated by the market of suppliers that you can work with. Also, the choice of partners is important to make sure that you can select partners that can offer the services that you really want, rather than having to settle for something which is perhaps available but not perfectly suited to your specific consumers. The second thing that operators are seeing is the need to address the change in the way that innovation is affecting the services that are brought to the consumers, especially in devices that have IP connectivity. You see a much more rapid evolvement of new services that need to be introduced to the consumers. And again, the choice of partners can be very much a limiting factor in what services you can bring to the market, because you are limited by your suppliers for those new services. So the rate of innovation demanding the operator to be able to respond quickly, bringing new services to market with a quick time to market. And the third element that operators are very much conscious of is set-top boxes that are designed today have a fairly extensive lifetime, yet you don't often know what service offerings you may need in the future or how your business needs will evolve. So being able to deploy set-top boxes now that have the capability of addressing new business needs in the future through flexibility of what security services you introduce is also a very important aspect for customers.
What is holding operators back?
The biggest problem today is that operators are usually working with a security vendor, typically a CA vendor, that traditionally has been managing all of the security aspects inside the set-top box. On the one hand, that's a good thing because the operator didn't need to enter into the difficult domain of managing the security, but at the same time, it's limiting them in who they can and cannot work with. It's decided almost by the CA vendor's ecosystem what partners they can bring in. They're dependent on that vendor's roadmap with respect to new service offerings that they can bring to the table. And really, the locked in position that the operators find themselves in is hampering them in selecting the partners, so having the choice of who you work with, in bringing the services that you may need now or in the future to your set-top box population. One example you can imagine is a set-top box population that was traditionally keyed by a CA vendor. So the CA vendor is in control of the security elements in the set-top box. If you as an operator would like to introduce, let's say, a DRM for delivery of content over the IP network, you're dependent on the CA vendor with respect to what DRM vendors they support. So if your vendor of choice for whatever commercial or business needs is not supported by the CA vendor, you're really left with a situation where your set-top box population cannot address your business need. You may have to settle for something that is being offered by the CA vendor. You don't have the freedom of choice. You may not have the ability to bring the service to your consumers that you would really like.
How can operators take back control?
The solution is actually very simple. The operator must take control of their destiny, and by that they need to take control of the keys that are in the set-top boxes and the chips. So taking control of the keys really allows them to select the vendors they would like to work with because it's under their control, and with that also the services that those vendors may supply into their ecosystem.